So what we are going to do is, as I always do, we are going to start our session with a kind of an introduction. It's an icebreaker. What I want you guys, the participants, what I want you people to do is just think of, I'm sure that you may have more than one. I'm definitely confident that all of you have more than many special traits that you possess, but I want you to think of one skill or one trait or one thing that makes you special, and I want you guys to share it in the chat box, because that is how we are going to get to know each other. This is a kind of an icebreaker. Obviously, I'll be seeing your name, but I'll be reading what makes you special as well. Okay, so Dr. Welkin's introduction is coming. We love you as well, Dr. Welkin. So nice of you to share. Guys, you need to write down something that makes you special. You can write down any skill, you can write down any attribute, any trait, anything. That is totally up to you. It's like you are introducing yourself to me, to not only to me, but to all the participants who are here in this session. So how would you introduce yourself if you are asked that what makes you special? I'm sure that all of you are unique, wonderful, special. Patience, all right, wonderful. That is first message. Yeah. Is the chat box accessible to everyone? Because yes, I'm getting direct messages.
It is.
All right. All of you can, the participant is saying that he or she is failing to get access to chat box, so they are sending me the inbox. All right, I can read the inbox messages as well. No worries over there. So social networks is
let me stop you. Let me stop you for a second, Hassan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are sending a message, make sure you are sending to everyone, so that not only our expert Hassan can see it, but everybody else can see it as well. But if you are pinpointing to just one specific name, like Hassan, for example, if what you are clicking on is Hassan, on where you see to whomever you are sending your message, you got to select everyone in the meeting so that everybody can see your response, your thought. So make sure you do that so everybody can see it. Otherwise, only Hassan will be able to see your chat. So like he's requesting, please go to the chat line and make your voice, so to speak, heard to everybody. Thank you, Hassan, for the interruption.
No worries, Dr. Welkin. The participants are sending me messages and they are saying that they cannot see. They cannot see the option of sending a message in the chat box, but it's perfectly all right. They are sending me direct messages and I will be reading them. So no worries over there, no issues. I think there is something in the settings.
So far, I can see many responses, like from Barthélemy Cabaret, cooperative person, from Abdul, patience, from Levinus, I'm good at writing, from Dr. Caleb, being quick to give answers and solutions to problems, from
Wonderful.
Denise Bentink, I am intuitive. From Kingsley Muyunda, I am not easily swayed away from my focused goal. From Ahmed Sharif, I'm unique based on my level of patience in dealing with my fellow human beings. From Abdul Rahman, again, compassionate. July, I am July Nwamoto from Mozambique, and blah, 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 and so forth and so on. So I'm so sorry again for the new interruption, Hassan, just to know that those messages are coming to us.
Okay, so we are, that is really wonderful. Somehow I wasn't able to, I'm still not able to see these messages, but there are direct messages coming as well. But thank you, Dr. Welkin, for going through all these wonderful attributes and traits that all of these wonderful participants have shared. I would request just one thing, that if somebody has mistakenly drawn some lines over the screens, this is a very wonderful drawing. Perfectly. All right. So if we have the restricted access to the presenters only, maybe we can avoid such mistakes because I believe it is a mistake. Okay. So moving forward, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing some wonderful attributes that you guys have. Uh, Still some chats coming. All right. Wonderful cooperation, helping. Somebody likes to smile. That is really wonderful. Okay. So what was the reason? Why did I ask about these attributes? You know, uh, since my area is self-development, and while we are on the context of talking about professional skills, so my area is soft skills. I'm sure that most of you have already heard about this thing. If not, so this is one infographic or one image taken from the internet regarding the top soft skills that are desired by the employers. Whether an employer or a professional, wherever your future takes you, you should be possessing these skills. And these skills are not related to any specific profession. They are equally important and valuable in all the different professions, whether you want to become a teacher, a doctor, an engineer, or even a businessman, even a social worker. In any profession, these skills are very critical. Like communication, we all know what it is. Self-motivation, I've already talked about it in our previous sessions. Leadership, responsibility, teamwork, problem solving. I'm just going through these soft skills just to give you an overview that how they are related with our topic today. Uh, our topic today is about social intelligence, and that is going to cover most of these skills. Rather than talking about these skills one by one and focusing on them, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on many of these skills which are directly related to your personality, grooming your attribute as an individual to be socially active, and how can you become a better professional, a better leader? How can you work better in teams? How can you engage with other people? How can you be a good communicator? So we are going to take the context of social intelligence in a way that we will be talking about the people skills. I will be focusing on the people skills, not only on your communication skills, but on the people skills that all of us, we really require in our professional setting. So if any one of you during the session, if any one of you can come up with any kind of a question or any opinion that you would want to share, please feel free to do so in the chat box. Because whenever a notification pops up, I'll be going on the chat and having a look at that. All right. Okay. So how do we define social intelligence? These red lines, they are really like taking my focus away for a while. So I'm not sure whether we are able to remove it because I don't have the full access. So maybe the moderator can help us over here. Okay. How do we define social intelligence? It is our ability to perceive, understand, and navigate social situations effectively. Now we are going to think about these things, that what are these social situations? Since my focus today is going to be on the professional aspect, so we are going to take the examples in which a professional deals with certain social situations. For example, right now we are interacting in a social situation, and I got your really wonderful introduction through the chat box. Take an example of you appearing in a job interview. That is a social situation, and believe me, your ability to communicate, your ability to talk and share your ideas, that makes a very positive impact over your opportunity to secure that job. So when you are meeting somebody from the same profession, when you are appearing in a job interview, or you are working within an organization, whether you are sitting in a team meeting, or if you are in any similar social situation, if you are able to understand and go through that situation effectively, this means that you are socially intelligent. I mean, in our daily lives, we are socially intelligent. We go to the shops, we buy things, we have our relatives to talk about. We do all kinds of things in our daily lives, and we are quite aware of that. But when it comes to our professional intelligence, professional social intelligence, we need to learn some things, some skills. Today, I will be giving you an overview of those skills and giving you some, I will be sharing some tips with you that how can you actually learn those things. So in your spare time after this meeting, you can go on and make it one of your top goals that you want to learn these intelligences. Okay. So ability to perceive, understand, and navigate social situations, and demonstrating awareness and consideration for the emotions, thoughts, and behaviors of oneself and others. How many of you have heard about the concept of emotional intelligence? Those who already know what emotional intelligence is can either raise their hands or can use the chat box and send yes or no, because then I will be talking about it in the next 5 minutes. Those who know what emotional intelligence is can raise their hand or write in the chat box that they know what it is, because that is something directly related to social intelligence. Emotional intelligence. What I advise all of you to do is, it is a wonderful science and a wonderful idea shared by Daniel Goleman. A lot of content is available on the internet, on YouTube. There is such wonderful material available on this regarding emotional intelligence, in which uh, the author or the social scientist, he states that one needs to understand your own emotions and the emotions of people around you in order to be emotionally intelligent. And this attribute, it makes you a wonderful leader, not only a wonderful professional, but a very competent and an exemplary leader as well. So if you all want to become future leaders, which I'm sure that you do, so my suggestion would be that be concerned and cautious about emotional intelligence. We are going to talk a bit about it in the coming slide. Very good. So Shalom and Admola. I hope that I'm taking your names properly. There are red lines on the screen, I know, but all right. I'll try to wipe them off because I don't have the full access to this. So if we have a moderator with us right now, I know these lines are creating some kind of a distraction for me as well, but just give me a second, okay? I'll just try
I
to.
don't know exactly where those lines are coming from.
Yeah, just trying.
No. If our technology engineers can see what's going on, I would highly appreciate they jump in and try to resolve that issue.
Yeah, I will continue anyways. I'll
Yes,
try that.
yes.
Yeah, I'll try that the distraction is avoided. Okay, so social intelligence also involves, like in the beginning, Dr. Welkin gave a very wonderful practical example of having a social interaction, prioritizing your time, and how to communicate to someone that you are busy at a certain time and when you will become available. Because these are the situations that we usually, these social situations are something that come very frequently. And as a teacher, they do come very frequently, because when we are sitting in our offices and the students are coming, all the students, they want dedicated time and attention. So it becomes really difficult for you to tell them to just wait for a while. And this is also a kind of a social situation right now, that both of us are asking the moderators and the students very politely not to put red lines on the screen. Okay, so social intelligence also involves interpreting social cues, that what are the signals coming from other people. It is very important that in a workplace, you know that what your peers, the co-workers, and your bosses, your managers, and the people working under you, what are they trying to tell you in non-verbal cues, in social cues, uh, adapting one's communication style to different contexts and building a positive relationship. Now we are going to talk about these contexts. We are going to talk about the cultural aspect of communication today. But the core aspect is that in order to be a thorough professional, in order to be a complete professional, you need to have a positive network and relationship with people around you. And you need to have the ability to not only perceive, judge, but to go through or navigate through social situations in an effective manner. Okay, so this is the main crux of our today's topic. This is why social intelligence is important, because it gives you an opportunity. Yeah, it gives you an opportunity to excel when it comes to dealing with social situations. All right. Okay. So I was talking about emotional intelligence. I'm going to give you a brief comparison of social intelligence with emotional intelligence because we don't want to mix both of these things up. Okay. Emotional intelligence, as the students already mentioned, and I did give you an overview, it's regarding something that is happening inside of you. I mean, you are focusing on understanding how you are behaving, why you are behaving in a certain manner, and the same situation is applied on the people around you as well. It is largely focusing on your self-awareness and your self-management. We've already talked about this thing in the self-leadership session that I had in the last month. I'm not sure whether you guys attended it or not, but it is available on the web page of Atlantic University. It is the recording is there. So we did talk about self-leadership in detail. When it comes to social intelligence, it is about our behavior with the people around us. It is about our awareness, and it is about relationship management. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a template. I'm not only going to show it to you, I will be sharing it with you through file exchange or chat box so that all of you can download it. And in your spare time, I would want you guys to fill out that whole template, go through it. Just allow me to share it. Just give me a second. Okay. So I hope that you guys are able to see this self-analysis template. Can you guys see it? A thumbs up would be great. So can you guys see this PDF template that I've just shared? No. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second. It's perfectly all right. You know, technology, while learning social intelligence, I think we should also be learning technology awareness. I should also be learning that. Okay. So I think now you are able to see this PDF slide with the name as self-analysis template. Okay. Wonderful. So what you are going to do is in your spare time, you don't have to do anything right now. I'll be sharing it in the chat box. I just want to go through it quickly. This is one valuable information for you. What you are going to do is evaluate your strengths. Think about your top strengths that you have. In this template, you would want to focus on the top 2 strengths that you have. Provide a brief description of that strength. Think of an example, think of a time, think of a real-time experience when you demonstrated this strength, and ask yourself how this strength positively influences your interactions or achievements, your interactions with other people. In order to understand social intelligence, think of the top personality trait that you have. Do you have a polite personality? Are you courteous? Are you self-disciplined? Maybe you are a hard worker. These are the kind of strengths that we usually talk about. So ask yourself that how these strengths have been able to help you in order to gain more social interaction, to enhance your social interaction. Think of 2 examples in your template. You don't have to write down anything right now. I'll be sharing this PDF with you right now, so you can go through it. Once you are done with writing down your strengths, think about your areas of growth. Like identify the area that you've talked about your strength. Now, area of growth is basically, it can be called as your weakness, but we are going to use a positive word for that. So this is not your weakness, but this is your area for growth, an area in which you would want to improve upon yourself. I will be sharing some areas with you today in our coming 40 minutes or so. So from that, you will be able to generate some idea that which areas are your strength and which areas do you need to work on. Once you are done with highlighting your strengths and your area for growth, you need to address some reflective questions that what recent social interactions were very special to you and how did you handle them? Think of an example, maybe joining a new class, talking to new people, joining an organization maybe, or any other social situation that is happening, that has happened recently in your life. Evaluate your performance in that. Ask yourself that how did you do? And how do you perceive your communication style in group settings? How well do you adapt to your communication style to a different audience or different context? Now, these questions will give you an insight. These questions will give you an idea that how you would want to improve upon your future interaction with in any professional or social settings. All right. So I hope that this template is going to be valuable for you. I will be sharing it with you in the chat box right now. It'll take a minute so that each and every one of you can use it. Just give me a minute. All right. I think this is the one. Just give me a second. I'll have to check it. All right. So we'll get back to this. I did not get the template. Okay, just allow me to share it. There's so many screens just happening right now. Just give me a second. Okay. I'll share the template. No worries. You don't need to go through it right now. I will share it before the end of the session today. Just allow me to please continue with my presentation, if that's all right. I will be sharing the template. Okay. All right. So the first key component, I hope that you are able to see my screen now.
Yes.
In this, yeah, okay. So the one of the key components of social intelligence is active listening. I'm sure that in any communication session that you guys attended, you may have talked in when we think about communication, we usually think that in interpersonal communication, speaking is the top trait. Although it is the top trait, but it is incomplete without active listening. I mean, we need to be very good listeners as well. It is not only about our speaking ability. When it comes to interpersonal communication, active listening is also very important. And being a good active listener makes you socially intelligent. Okay, so how do we define active listening? I'm just going to go through this definition and then I'll show you an infographic, a kind of a chart with wonderful information. If you're able to listen to somebody attentively and empathetically, with empathy, engaging in conversations, understanding both verbal and non-verbal cues and responding thoughtfully. I mean, so much responsibility coming your way when it comes to becoming an active listener. What you need to do is you need to show empathy, you need to show attention, you need to make sure that your verbal and non-verbal cues are being responded thoughtfully. So that makes you an active listener. I mean, since all of you are grown up, so definitely you guys would be in your life, you may have gone through a phase in which you are in a relationship with the relationship which matters to you, either with your parents, your siblings, your loved ones, your better half, I mean, all the people. So when it comes to giving them value and attention, you try to make sure that they don't feel bad while talking to you. You give them your thorough attention. You become very active while listening to them. So, when it comes to social intelligence, this is one trait that all wonderful leaders also have. These leaders, they show themselves as active listeners. They want to present themselves as individuals, as people who want to listen to the arguments, to the opinions, to the feedback of the people around them. So quick tips for active listening. How can we uh, increase or enhance our active listening? What you need to do is, firstly, you can paraphrase. Like while listening, you can make a clear kind of a summary of what the person is saying. You can ask questions, use positive body language. You can also show empathy. I've already talked about it. I refer to this example a lot. This is one of my favorite examples. I just wanted to share it with all of you. That there was a survey. It was conducted with the patients from different hospitals, and this is a survey conducted in US. Uh, they asked the patients that what is the top trait or top skill that you see in your doctor? What do you expect your doctor to do? When they conducted the whole research and summarized the results, apart from all the different things that the patients were asking to happen, the top thing that they wanted from their doctor was to have empathy. They wanted that they expected that their doctor was supposed to have empathy, care, and concern for them. Their doctor should have the ability of active listening. Their doctor should have the ability to be socially intelligent. He or she needs to be a very good doctor as well, but the ability to be socially intelligent should also be there. This thing becomes applicable in all the professions, particularly in services when we are teachers or doctors or being in customer service. This is very important or critical for us. But in general life, in normal interactions with people around you, you need to understand that active listening, it helps you make wonderful, positive relationships. I think this is one of the top traits. When you give somebody due value, when you show them some empathy, care, concern, even through your non-verbal gestures, when you show interest in what they are saying. I mean, if you're talking to me, I can be like this and start looking at my mobile phone maybe. So you would be thinking that this guy is not interested. But if I just remove all the distraction that I have, and when you are talking, I'm eagerly listening to you, I'm nodding my head, and even I'm sharing yes, sharing verbal cues as well. Now that shows that I'm not even only actively listening, that it also shows that I'm working on this relationship. I want this interaction to work. So this is one positive attribute of social intelligence. I hope that you got the point. So there are different tips. They are available on the internet as well. We have been conducting these training with many teachers as well. So you may see some examples related to students in this, but these are the training sessions that were conducted with teachers also. All right, moving forward. And if you have any question or any opinion that you would want to share, that the chat box is very eager to listen to you. Okay. So another key component of social intelligence is the ability to adapt. I mean, this is one thing that I believe each and every one of us should be working on. This is one area of growth for me as well. In the template that I was referring to, that I will be sharing with you, that template, it did talk about our strengths and it did talk about our areas of growth. So one of my areas of growth that I would want to work on is this ability, the ability to adapt or adjust to a certain behavior, to a certain situation, and to have a different kind of a communication approach according to the social context, cultural norms, and needs of different individuals. I have highlighted, I have the keywords in this definition. They are all being shown as bold. I'm sure that you can evaluate your own self when it comes to your ability to adapt. Change is difficult. Change is not an easy thing. It is not something natural. We as humans, we are hesitant to change. We find it very difficult. When it comes to dealing with a new situation, we find it difficult. If you have to relocate to a new place, maybe start a new job or a new career, I mean, the positive vibes are there, but it is sometimes very difficult to adapt to that change. But you know what? The change is the only constant, and adaptability. Yeah, the companies, business organizations, what do they say about adaptability? They have a very clear-cut message. They say adapt or die. Either you adapt or you die, means that you don't survive. So if any one of you finds this as one of their weaknesses, that they cannot adjust to a certain situation, they cannot talk to some kind of a people. Uh, let me give you an example of a social situation. You know, talking to people who are very courteous and very kind, who have good social manners, that is very easy. But imagine that you are working in an organization, you are doing a job, and you are serving as a customer services representative, and one day you interact with an angry customer. Like there is someone who is very angry at the kind of a services that your company is offering, and they come bashing at you. They visit your office and they are very angry, and they immediately start shouting on you, and he or she is like, how would you respond to that situation? Now, obviously, your job, it requires you to be courteous, to be polite, try to handle the situation accordingly. But as a person, you would want to have this attribute, that this trait in you, that you need to respond to certain situations in certain manners, because you want a win-win situation. You want the result to be in a way that the situation is resolved appropriately, and it leaves a positive impact over your professional standing. Okay, so adaptability is one of the most important things, and you need to learn. I'm just sharing some tips, some key areas with you. In the end, I will be sharing some tips as well, but this is going to be a lifelong learning process. I mean, you cannot just, obviously, I cannot just give you one or two examples and then we can be done with it. How can we work on adaptability? All right, let us go through some tips. If you guys have already heard about the concept of a growth mindset, there are two types of mindsets that we have. One is a fixed mindset, and then there is growth mindset. You know, in a fixed mindset, if I have a fixed mindset, I would be thinking to myself that whatever I know is enough for me. Whatever I've learned over the period of time is good enough for me. This is who I am. This is how it's going to be. I don't have the ability to improve or change or to become better. In comparison, in contrast, a growth mindset is a trait. I think it's one of the most valuable traits that a person can have. That you have this feeling, you have this craving to learn something every day. You want to become better. You know, there's a very wonderful quote. I just came across it right now while talking about this thing. We see it on Facebook and other social mediums. They say that your only competition is you, and you need to be a better person than you were yesterday. That should be your only target. So I think this defines growth mindset in a very wonderful way. That each learning day is an opportunity for us, for all of us. And when it comes to social intelligence, have a positive, open mind and a growth mindset, thinking about this thing, that all social situations are going to help me learn new things. Similarly, this leads to optimism as well. This is a very common thing, and we do talk about optimism a lot. Positive thinking, looking at the bright side of things, feeling and believing that good things are going to happen. And this is something really wonderful. I mean, this is one of the life goals and approaches that all of us should have. So how is optimism related to adaptability and social intelligence? Because this gives you an opportunity to meet, interact, engage in new social relationships and perform better, learn better. I'm sure that you guys may have seen some historic movies where, I mean, right, I mean, this is a wonderful era right now. I'm sitting in Pakistan. Dr. Welkin is sitting in US. You guys are sitting in all different parts of the world, and we are talking through this medium. But think of that time when there was no internet, no mediums, and when one country wanted to take over the another country, so they used to send a messenger that go to that country, tell that king that either collaborate with me or I'm coming for you. I'm just thinking of a hypothetical situation, nothing for real, just making up a story right now. So, you know, this is a very difficult social situation in which the messenger has to go and talk to the king and give him a hostile message. All right. So that is why I think they have written, they say that do not kill the messenger, because the messenger's job is very difficult. So you need to have optimism and a positive mindset when it comes to engaging yourself in new situations. Then resilience is very important. It's very critical that you strike back over and over and over again. You do not give up. You believe in yourself. And another important thing when it comes to adaptability is that do not just think about it, practice it, and practice your decision-making skills. Talking to people, being in different social situations requires you to take different situations, different decisions as well. So be ready for that. And that is only going to happen when you are going to engage yourself, you are going to put yourself in difficult situations. If you are just going to stick to your comfort zone and just be friendly and talking to people who you already know, having a limited circle is fine, but in order to grow, in order to learn, in order to work on your social intelligence, you need to interact with all possible people that you can. You know, LinkedIn is a wonderful forum. I'm sure that you guys must be on LinkedIn. How many of you are on LinkedIn? Those who know, those who are on LinkedIn, if they can just tell me somehow. Okay, all right. All right, very good. That is really wonderful. I mean, uh, I think this is one of the best things that has happened to us, because we've been being in Pakistan. I tell my students to do networking and do engage with professionals from their fields. Wonderful. So many people are already on LinkedIn. I encourage them to meet professionals, not only connect with them, interact with them, take time from them, start doing networking. The students initially, they think that it is very difficult, that if we do not know anyone, why he or she would be giving us time, and why would he or she talking to us? But what I've seen is that professionals, when they know about these wonderful things, like social intelligence, like helping out, giving back to society, when the students and when people, they reach out to them in order to network, in order to talk, so they do spare time and they do extend a helping hand. So it does become really difficult and challenging when it comes to reaching out to new people and networking with them. But if you compose a very good message, if you write a very good introductory message, and you send to the professionals who you want to connect with, they will be reaching out to you and they will be accepting and interacting with you. I mean, it depends that what kind of a engagement would you want to have. All right. So the next point that is important in our social intelligence context is conflict resolution. I was about to give you an example in the previous slide regarding dealing with difficult people. You know, I did talk about the angry customer. This is an extreme example of dealing with a difficult person. What is conflict resolution and how is it related to social intelligence? If you have the ability to resolve conflicts, what kind of traits would you require? Firstly, you would require diplomacy. Diplomacy is a wonderful trait. It's a wonderful feature. And I think this is one of the traits, one of the skills that make this world a better place. I mean, if used for proper and positive objectives, then diplomacy can help end wars. It can reduce global conflicts. It can eliminate global conflicts. So think of a situation in think of the type of diplomats that I'm referring to. What attributes or traits do they have? Their communication skill, their opinion, their ability to generate an idea, their ability to persuade the other individual, offer them respect, seeking a win-win solution, seeking solutions that involve the interest of all the parties. This is such a wonderful trait. And I believe that all of us should be working on learning this trait. So let us have a look at this chart, at this that brief image that we have. There's something called as assertiveness, and the other thing is cooperation. So you can either be highly assertive or highly cooperative. So this is going to give you an idea that if in a situation of competition, if in a situation of conflict, if you have high assertiveness and low cooperation, where would you be? You would be competing. If you have low cooperation and low assertiveness, you will be avoiding the conflict. If you have high cooperation and low assertiveness, you will be accommodating. But don't you all believe that high assertiveness and high cooperation leading to collaboration is the right approach to go, is the best approach to go? This is also called as the win-win approach. In a win-win approach, you would want to make sure that your ideas are being accepted, people listen to you, and you are willing to extend a lending hand, you are willing to cooperate as well. So conflict resolution is a wonderful topic. There are so many wonderful details available for you. You can look into it. But as an individual, I think firstly, you need to identify that what leads to a situation where the conflict is being generated and how to deal with that. And that is going to directly require the involvement of your personality trait. What kind of a personality do you have? Ask yourself that, are you an assertive person or a cooperative person? Regardless of the type of person that you are, I believe this is a social skill that you need to learn. We can all learn to manage disagreements. How many of you can take positive criticism? I mean, if somebody criticizes you, and how many of you can take it open-mindedly? You don't feel bad on it. If like you've done something, you share your idea or you do something, and somebody in your family or someone else, they say that, all right, it's an okay effort, nothing special about it. You could do a lot better. How many of you can take positive criticism? Who do not feel offended easily? Who think, okay, fine, I may have my weaknesses and I'm willing to improve upon them. No problem. Wonderful. So many hands being raised right now. This is another one of the traits which is going to help you to become a good conflict resolution expert. Understand that we should not be taking things personally at all. If we want to be happy in our lives, we should stop taking things personally. If somebody offends us, if someone criticizes us, we can very easily just let it go. I mean, feedback is good. Taking feedback is good. It is important. One should know that what are your areas of strengths and weaknesses, and you should be working on them. But in order to avoid conflicts, avoid in a way, in order to deal with conflicts in an effective manner, one needs to understand that criticism can be good. It can give you a positive outcome. No worries over there. Okay. So fine. Moving forward. Okay. So this basically, this is where I'm going to just conclude my presentation by going through these points one by one. And I would want you guys to share your opinion as well. These are the daily tips, practical tips that you can follow. Just give me a second. I think the screen is gone. Okay. All right. Okay. So these are the daily practice tips for social intelligence. These practices that you can use in your daily life. And I would want you guys to be responsive. I would want you guys to use the chat box and give me your response. How many of you enjoy the company of other people and you like observing people? Like if you're traveling in subway, if you're going in the market and you like to observe people, you like to see that why is someone behaving in such a manner? Like this image right now, there are 5 people in this image, the image that is shown on the screen, and all of them are so unique, so different, so diverse. Okay. So a good imaginative mind would be able to generate a story regarding each and every one of them, although they all seem very happy. Surprisingly, they all seem very happy. But you know, when you look at someone, your imagination is going to give you some idea that this individual belongs to a certain background. His personality looks like something like that. When you start observing people, it helps you build your social intelligence. Because the people around you in a professional setting, when you observe them, when you show interest, you know about their liking, dislikings, you know about their personalities, you start becoming emotionally and socially intelligent. So having a keen interest in other people, not in their personal lives, but generally having an interest in them is a good thing. Have this ability to observe people. If feeling comfortable around them, observing them, looking about their traits. Okay. The next thing that you can do is mirror your own body language. I mean, what you can do is see yourself, like right now when I'm talking to you, I can see myself on the screen. So I'm in my mind, I'm trying to give you an impression that which I'm actually doing, but I'm just telling you for the sake of giving you an example, that I'm cautious that what kind of an image am I presenting? Am I looking active and efficient and really excited to be a part of this session? Or is it giving some kind of a vibe that I'm just bored and I just want to like get through with it somehow? Okay. So look yourself in the mirror, in the camera even, and think about yourself that what image, what idea, what impression am I reflecting to the other people, to the other person? What am I reflecting? What impression are they taking from me? You know, most of the times what happens is that the impression that we are giving is not the one that we intend to give, because we are like consumed and occupied in our thoughts and maybe not concerned that what the people around us would be thinking. But in a professional setting, in the context of social intelligence, be cautious of your body language, that what image or impression are you communicating? If you want people to see you as a sad person or a lazy person or a laid back person, then you will be giving an impression like that. But if you want in a professional environment, you want people to perceive you as an active, uh, open, polite, kind, a socially intelligent individual, then you will be reflecting upon those body language characteristics. Okay. The next tip that you can follow is read. Uh, in all the sessions, what I do is I just give ideas regarding few things because we are just interacting for 1 hour. So in that 1 hour, we can talk about 5 or 6 things, but you can work on these 5, 6 things for the rest of your life. So do give these things a read. Go through these things later on in your time. Find some wonderful literature on it. You know, self-development literature is something very good. I like it very much because that is something that is a story related to you. I mean, fiction is good. You read a fictional story and you learn about the hero and the main characters of that story. But self-development literature is about you. So do spend some time reading that material as well. That is going to help you gain and expand upon your social intelligence. All right. The next thing is very interesting. That is small talk. We will be taking questions at the end. So people who are raising their hand, I'm just going to wind up my session in around 5 minutes from now. And then you can share your questions and opinions. I would love to hear them. No worries. Small talk is very critical. I mean, you're going in a cafe, you would want to talk to people, I mean, who are interested in talking to you, but never miss out on an opportunity. Small talk helps you to learn about the other people, to learn about your own strengths and weaknesses as an individual when it comes to communication. It helps you understand the norms and values of communication. So this is something that you should be doing it on a frequent basis. We can always volunteer. I'm sure that you guys would already be doing it, but be an active part of voluntary social groups, communities, whether online, whether in person, but engage yourself with people and be thoroughly active with them. Work on your social ability. How many of you like compliments, receiving compliments? What if I tell you that you, yes, you are really wonderful, you're amazing, your ideas are brilliant, you make this world such a wonderful place. The world will be incomplete without you. You are amazing, wonderful, brilliant. How many of you really liked this compliment and really felt it? I mean, I meant it. You know, in the start, we got an introductory message. Do you remember the first message that we got in our chat box was from Dr. Welkin. And at the end, he said, I love you all. You know, that was a wonderful start. I just held on to this thought until the end of this session. You know, I just read it. I read that message in the start of the session. And this ending was something, this is also an example of social intelligence, that leaving with a very positive message, it shows that you care. And I remembered it, like when we are talking about compliments, the best example that I can give is regarding that particular thing, because I'm sure Dr. Welkin loves us for our passion of learning, for our presence, for our ideas, for everything that we have. Okay. All right. So seek feedback, take feedback from your peers and be open to feedback. Like all of you have, most of you have already mentioned that you're open to criticism, not only criticism, but open to feedback as well. You like receiving feedback. Like not all feedback that you are going to get is going to be constructive for you, but You should give it a thought. You should receive the feedback and think about it. When you are completely self-aware that what strengths and weaknesses, not weaknesses, but areas of growth you have, then you would be knowing that what kind of a feedback are you receiving? Is it constructive or is it just to tease you? Be grateful, practice gratitude. People, they admire, they feel attracted to people who are contented with the life. You know, as part of social intelligence, in your journal conversation, in your opinions sharing, talk about the blessings that you have, talk about the positive things that you have, talk about all the wonderful things that the world has to offer. I mean, we do have issues, we do have our shortcomings, we do have areas of improvement, but why focus all the time on areas of improvement? Why not talk about the things that we are grateful for? Practicing gratitude is helping not only for oneself, but for the people around you as well. They feel motivated, they feel positive. And at the end, my last point for today's talk will be that spend time and effort, invest time and effort on your relationships. The relationships that not only include your friends, your loved ones, the people who are going to be there for the rest of your life, but on your professional relationships as well. As a human, this is our obligation. This is kind of a built-in responsibility on all of us to be kind to others. So invest on your relationships, have empathy, and be socially intelligent. All right. So this was all about from my side regarding my briefing. If you guys have any question, any opinion that you would want to share, I'll be very happy to listen to that. Those who do not have any question, they can write down their feedback in the chat box. Although I'm still not able to see the chat box, the public chat box, I'm not able to see. I'm just going, will be able to see the direct messages. All right. So Dr. Welkin, should we be taking questions now?
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan. First of all, let me thank you very, very deeply on behalf of the entire Atlantic International University. I want to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of our participants today, because their joining us has been essential for the success of this really great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just got a full web of ideas, strategies, techniques, and everything in between about how to blossom in the context of building meaningful connections with other people. It's a way to enrich your life. And I love that last idea or advice from our presenter. You should work on this to extend on your social interactions, your relationships with other people. You should work on that every single day. We're ready now for your questions, and we start with Adil Motsi. Adil Motsi. We are ready for you now, Adil. Are you with us, Adil, or? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I got you.
Great.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Umar Hassan, for a very informative presentation. We really love it and like it. And it is going to enhance our leadership. And we really love the way that you describe it. And really, we got it 100%, I can say. And thank you very much also, Mr. Viking. This is extended thanks for all the time you're with us, taking care of us. And I hope that we are going to do something with the social and the work that we're intent to. Mr. Umar, you can stop me anytime, or Dr. Viking, because I just want to tell you about this small story. Maybe it is linked to this lesson. I am from Sudan. I am from Khartoum, which is the war is going on right now in Khartoum between the militia and between the military, which is a disaster. I came back from Khartoum. I came to Dubai, actually. We left everything behind. I'm a CEO of the company at the airport. I'm a captain as a profession. We have a handling company. We left everything there, my car, my house, my money, and everything. And I'm in Dubai here, but I'm very optimistic that everything is going to come back again.
Wonderful. That is such a wonderful thought.
Yes, here with my family in Dubai. Actually, we settled nicely. They got a job, they're working. Also, I'm taking care of the employees that they are in Sudan right now. They're more than 300. We try to get them salaries to keep them survive and everything. And I just want to say this one because you said many things that it is related to what we are having right now. Optimism, we are very optimistic that the things is going to come. We know these things is God wanted, and it is good for us because we don't know what is going to happen next. Maybe there is going to be a different way. And this is one of the lessons that we learn from what is happening right now. And also, we are realizing that we are here trying to adapt with the culture, with how we are going to gain money and how we are going to feed our families. And we are taking care of the family that even surrounded inside Sudan, outside Sudan. This is another responsibility. The third one, also I'm involved with a group, civilian, trying to restore or stop the war, which is going on over there in Sudan. And we had a meeting, and we have a Monday meeting in Ethiopia. We are trying to work hard from every side. But as the things that you said in your lecture, actually I was putting everything that really sense of systems and even practice to take a decision or decision making. Also, on the other hand, that the culture, as a pilot, I used to travel around the world. I've been in Pakistan many times. That's
Wonderful.
why I send some of the message that I want to attract with you. I can say up Karnam, up Kewalit Karnam. And this is the things that you can.
Oh, wonderful. MashaAllah. Wonderful.
Yeah, me आपको बहुत याद किया.
Oh, Zabardast.
आपने
So
याद
nice to
रखे
hear.
हिसाब से पैर फैलाओ. And when Mrs. Benazir Bhutto, she was one of my passengers on VIP flights. I was working in Saudi Arabia, VIP flights.
Wonderful.
Anyhow, this is also on the other hand, I like to attract with people and learn their language, because whenever you travel, I like to see people, to see what they're doing, how is the culture is going on, because this is learning, and I can say this is 100% learning. And I have a page in my Facebook. I write about these stories all the time. What is benefit? There is many things happen to me while I'm traveling. I just like to share it with other people.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I don't want to take more than this one, because I know there is many people that they want to take. And this is a small brief of what you said in your lecture. And thank you very much again for your very informative presentation and lecture. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Adil.
Thank
Hope
you.
the Lord bless you very deeply in your personal and professional activities. We are now switching to Salisu Badamasi. Salisu, do you have a question or a comment?
Hello. Good afternoon,
Hi.
Doctor. And
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Umar Hassan.
Good afternoon.
It is such a wonderful presentation, I must say. As a military personnel, I'm from Nigeria, but I'm currently in Berlin. Being a soldier who has gone to Sudan, Darfur for peacekeeping. I have been to Congo for peacekeeping. I was in El Janina. At the same time, I was in Congo, and now I'm also here for another mission. So it is all about dialogue, peace, speaking good, bringing peace to humanity. It's really wonderful, and that reflects what is going on currently in Niger, where some scholars who have this quality of negotiation are really involving from Nigeria going to Niger to make sure that peace return to the West Africa. So the negotiation, if people will continue to negotiate, a good expression, being humble, like you talk about compliments, accepting criticisms. I think that is all about life, forgiveness, and where conflict will always be resolved in an amicable manner. So I have I love these qualities, and I always wish to be in this type of life, because this is the only way when we connect to humanity, and we always preach for peace. So I urge every one of us that is attending this lecture to please use this lecture to settle one case or the other in his neighborhood, in his families, because it is all about this that will help life get better. That is just my words of encouragement, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So nice of you.
Salisu. We are moving directly now to Olunkule or Kumoye. We cannot take too much time for comments because we already passed our allotted time of 1 hour. We are just using the kindness of our presenter, Professor Umar Hassan, to extend the time. And as we are now going to Olukunle or Kumnoye, what is your question, brother?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Professor Umar, for the very good presentation, and thank you, Dr. Vasi. My name.
By any chance, this is my family passport. Is it here?
We are losing Olukunle. There seems to be some kind of conflict. Go ahead, Olukunle.
Okay.
Are you still there?
For them, but I don't want to be opening this system closing. So if I have a paper beside me.
Okay, sir. Let me.
There is some type of audio drift. Olukunle is driving apparently, and we are losing him, unfortunately. Let's switch now to Emmanuel Amwa. Emmanuel, we want to hear from you at this time.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much, Hassan, for the in-depth work that you have done. I have noted down a lot of points. I have a question that follows up a story, a short one. Doctor, I'll be very brief. When I started teaching, I was more assertive than cooperating. I wanted to apply the rules. These are the rules and regulations. We don't eat in class. You have to tuck in. You have to comb your hair. You don't litter around. You have to applying the rules. Then I realized it was spoiling my relationship with a student. So on the TED Talk, I heard one woman telling us that students never learn from teachers they don't like. Students never learn from teachers they don't like. I said, I am dead. What am I going to do? So I had to sit back. The school did what we call appraisal, and the feedback I got from the students, they said, oh, He's a good teacher. He teaches very well, but he doesn't understand us. I said, oh, that is my problem. So I had to now work on myself to see how I'll balance my assertiveness with cooperation. So I learned that if they make any mistakes, I have to call them. You commend them in public, you condemn in private. So I started applying some of these. Sometimes when I go and they have littered the classroom, I want to pick all the litters myself. Say, oh, sir, no, we'll do it. Gradually, we were able to warm up one to another. I would like to just say that sometimes it takes sacrifice. We need to sacrifice our personal interests, personal principles, and personal egos. And if we do that, we will win the people we think we are socially not bonding so well with. We have to just let go. Even when you are right, you have to let go to make peace, and the people will understand you. So my question was, how far should you adapt without compromising? That is my major issue throughout your presentation. Okay, adaptability, how far should I adapt without compromising? Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. If I'm able to understand your question properly, I think that you meant that how far do you have to go when it comes to compromising? This is what your question is?
That is, I need to adaptability.
Okay.
So in adapting, how far do I go without compromising standards and personal principles? Right. And yes.
All right. Okay, I mean, I'll just give you my advice, but obviously you can, in your life, you can relate to your own experiences as well.
Okay.
I mean, our personal values, our personal core values, they are very critical, very important, and so important that they should not be compromised based on any requirement of any social intelligence context. Because, you know, our personalities are formed on our conscious choices to become a certain kind of a person who believes in certain things. Now, those core values, including maybe integrity, honesty, mutual respect, self-respect. When anything it starts compromising or affecting your core values, that I don't think that it's worth it to compromise on that. When you see that there is a shortcoming, there is a trait that you are lacking as an individual and you need to work on it, then the adaptability is fine. But if something is directly affecting one of your key strengths, a strength that makes you who you are, then I don't think that it is worth sacrificing. This is what I think. I hope that you will be able to draw some conclusion from it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry, Professor Hassan. I want to abuse your kindness a little bit more with two more questions. One of them is on the chat line. I love that question, and I believe it is also related to what Emmanuel Amoa just expressed. But let me read that question from the chat line from Patience. This is what she said. The question I have is on conflict resolution. How does one reestablish communication lines after a relationship has reached a stalemate? The other party does not want to have dialogue. There is a social relationship I'm trying to rekindle and practice active listening. How do I go about that?
All right.
Conflict resolution, which actually implies two parties, but the other party does not want dialogue.
Yeah, this seems more like a kind of a relationship advice, which I don't think
that's what I can understand here, but the other party does not want to hear.
Yeah, but the point is, my opinion would be that no matter how much you try, there are some things that they don't turn out the way you want them to be. So there should be a time when you stop putting in an effort and you just move on. I'm not like highlighting or reflecting to a certain situation, but I mean, there is a time when you can try to reestablish the communication, and you can renegotiate, or you can go into that same dialogue situation again. But if things are not happening, and the other party or the other person in this scenario, if they have made up their mind that they are not going to go down that road, so I think that you should also know that it is time to move on. Moving on is one of the top traits of key leaders. You know, this is what we tell all our students, our business students, that leaders, they have the ability to move on. They don't just like stick themselves to failures or the things that are stopping them. They admit that something bad or something unlikely has happened, and then they move on, they move forward. So I hope that you got my point.
All right, last question now, as we pledged, with Sylvia Kumalo. Go ahead, please, Sylvia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Valsin, and thank you, Prof. Umar. I heard them calling you Prof. Yes, Prof. Umar, for that presentation. Very brilliant, and it's a subject that cuts across all things in life, be it the technical side of things, social side of things, and any scientific subject you can think of. I actually tried to do my own analysis from the quadrant that you presented. And as a resilience person, I told myself that in those 4 quadrants that you presented, I think it will be abnormal for a person to stay in one quadrant. I want to believe they have to move from one level to the other as they gain more experience, as they get more exposure, and as they expand their knowledge of social intelligence or emotional intelligence, so to say. I hope I'm right, because I was just thinking that if you stay in one corner of the quadrant, what kind of a person would you be? I think you would be this kind of rigid person. And I was actually trying to link it up with the characters, human characters, like, the sanguines and all. You find that if you stay in one quadrant, you have no room for growth. So mine is more of a comment really than a question. Otherwise, thank you very much for the presentation. I really enjoyed it. And I think I'll use most of what you presented in what I'm working on right now. Thank you very much, and over.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. This is the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that we've gone that far. Actually, 20 minutes over the time initially scheduled for this event. We have indeed abused our presenter, Professor Umar Hassan. I thank him very, very much again. And I thank each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance. Let's just hear the last word, a conclusion from Professor Umar Hassan. The last word.
Okay, this is honestly, I'm saying that this is a wonderful opportunity for me as well. I mean, I really appreciate listening. Not only appreciate, I cherish the comments and feedback that the participants are giving, and this is a huge opportunity for me as well. I mean, all the ideas, they're really wonderful. I just want to share one thing, that we can learn about so many wonderful things, all the technical and hard skills that are there, but I think that a lot of concern and value should be given to the soft skills, which is one of my key areas. So it's really wonderful that you guys show such huge interest in this, and I mean, it's all wonderful from my side. Dr. Welkin, thank you so much. You're a very kind host, very kind and courteous host, and thank you so much for having me today.
Once again, happy Independence Day, Professor Umar.
Thank you so much. So nice of you. Thank you so much.
It's been really great. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give a big thanks to Professor
Thank you very
Umar.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Get a slide.
Celebrating your holiday.
Thank
you
very much.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.